Food System Resilience 466 presents a sustainability assessment for waste management at Montana State University by Rylin Brett, Erica Wiley, Kellen Gronwold, Erin Carroll, Lilly Schwartz, Mariah Kelly, and Patten.
In our global society, we all create waste from things that make our lives easier. Waste can be categorized into organic, hazardous, solid, liquid, or recyclable. Waste management is a key part of the infrastructure of communities, big and small, including university campuses. We are a team of students interested in waste management, sustainability, and resilience of this management system at our school, Montana State University, and we are excited to share with you the information about how the waste is being managed on the Bozeman campus. Current waste management practices are overseen by Campus Facility Services. We got to speak with two staff members from the facility services to get the lowdown on the waste management on campus. Logan Norris is the recycling coordinator, and Benjamin Dallas is a compost worker, and they both shared a lot of good information about how the waste is collected on campus and the actions MSU is taking to be more sustainable.
So here are some stats for you. The MSU campus spans 956 acres, has 58 academic buildings, and 138 auxiliary and housing buildings. The MSU campus also serves 16,073 students, employs 1,865 people, plus sees visitors that pass through the campus every day. There is a ton of people on this campus, and a lot of people who have waste to toss out while they are on campus grounds. In fact, in the 2019 to 2020 school year, there were 3,451,140 pounds of trash that were collected and sent to the Logan landfill, 1,140,269 pounds of mixed recycling collected and sent to the Four Corners Recycling, and 500,040,945 pounds of food waste diverted from the landfill and composted. We also interviewed a few students to see what their perspectives on the waste management on campus are. Here's what they thought.
I like the way that they do the waste services in Norm, where there's no standalone trash cans. It's every waste spot has the different compartments for the different types of recycling. So it makes it so that if you're going to throw something away, it's just as easy to recycle it as it is to throw it in the trash.
Sure, they do the same thing in Jabs. Big fan.
Yeah.
The 3 million pounds of trash that were collected on campus weren't separated into different bins on site. The majority of the sorting is done later down the line. Trash is collected in every building on campus, and each building has its own large dumpster outside. Trash is collected from those dumpsters by the city of Bozeman and then hauled to the Logan landfill, 30 miles away in Three Forks.
Nearly every one of the 58 academic buildings at MSU has at least one set of recycling bins. Some buildings have multiple per floor. Plastic bottles, certain food service buckets, aluminum cans, steel cans, most paper, cardboard, food waste, electronic waste, scrap steel, and wood pallets can all be recycled on campus. The undergraduate residence halls have a single stream of recycling per floor of each building, and at the family and graduate housing, there are large bins outside by the dumpsters in which recycling is collected. There is also a number of paper and cardboard dumpsters located outside of some of the academic buildings. Every 2 weeks, the recyclable waste that is thrown in the in-building recycling bins is collected by Four Corners Recycling. The rest of the recyclable waste, the cardboard, paper, and big bins outside also make their way to Four Corners Recycling, but the city of Bozeman picks it up and transports it. From Four Corners Recycling, the material is then compacted into bales and shipped to different locations depending on market values, typically Washington and Utah. In the 2019 school year, the recycling and composting diversion from the landfill was 32.76%. This added up to a total of 1,681,214 pounds of waste that was diverted from the landfill to be given new life as a recycled product or rich soil. However, it is important to note that a significant amount of recycling is contaminated, especially in the recycling cans found around campus. People very frequently fail to read the signs and end up throwing trash into the recycling. This is typically dealt with by Logan physically picking the trash out of the recycling when he is collecting it. Obviously, this is not efficient, but there are not many other options.
We determined 3 indicators for evaluating the sustainability of Montana State. 1. Recycling and trash, 2. Waste reduction strategies, and 3. Food waste. Food waste is collected from the 2 dining halls, the Union Market, the coffee shops, the salad and bakery department, and the Gallatin College Cooking School in Hannon Hall, and goes to the Bozeman Convenience Site where it is composted by the City of Bozeman. This graph shows the pounds of waste collected over the past several years. Notice the large increase once a partnership began with the City of Bozeman Waste Division. In the dining halls, the food service folks implement some different ways to try and reduce food waste, including meal planning to reduce food waste, utilizing leftovers, ingredients in meals, and offering smaller plates to discourage the overloading of plates and stop food waste at the beginning. Logan says that this is difficult to plan out meals for such a large volume of eaters, and over-ordering does still occur. He personally feels as though more can be done, but he does make sure to mention that he is not in the shoes of the food service staff, so he doesn't know how it all works firsthand. Some highlights from our conversation with students are that it's a lot harder to compost and reduce food waste because of COVID, and students would like increased accessibility to composting in Union Market and other places on campus. And when asked, how important is it to you that your waste gets recycled or composted at MSU, they replied that it was moderately important. Logan also mentioned the sustainability group SNOW and their hard work to get a food recovery network, or FRN, functioning at MSU. This program would take food that may be getting composted and donate it to the food bank or other nonprofits like Fork and Spoon. This program is in its initial stages, and we should expect to see more progress in the coming years. Additionally, MSU Catering is developing a catering app to help get food left over from events to students. These 2 initiatives will help MSU make greater strides towards sustainability when combined with local food purchasing. Local food is purchased through Farm to Table, Honeybees, Edible Landscaping, Steer a Year, MSU Lamb, F4H and FFA, and the MSU Food Development Lab. Adapted from Emhart's Guide to Sustainable Community Indicators, we developed some measures of sustainability for MSU so we could give grades to the indicators that we came up with. The first is that it is multidimensional sustainability. 2, that it is forward-looking, 20 to 50 years. 3, that there's an emphasis on local resources and student faculty needs. 4 is that there's an emphasis on appropriate levels and types of consumption. 5 is that there are measures that are easy to understand and display changes for. 6 is that there's reliable, accurate, frequently reported data that is readily available. And 7 is that it reflects MSU sustainability that enhances Bozeman, Montana, or global sustainability. Food waste at MSU got a rating of C because there needs to be more of an emphasis on student and faculty needs, involvement in education. And 7, the MSU sustainability enhances Bozeman, Montana, or global sustainability.
Looking at the recycling and waste is a good indicator to see how the university campus is doing with waste management. From the information we got from Logan Norris, I concluded we are able to recycle many things, including plastic bottles, aluminum and steel cans, most paper, cardboard, food waste, electronic waste, and scrap steel. Unfortunately, no glass. But even though all of these things may be able to be recycled, it's not that easy. Each one of these items has to take a different route to their prospective recycling or landfill sites. There are 5 main locations throughout Bozeman and the surrounding areas that our trash and recycling are sent to. The scrap steel is sent to the north of Bozeman to the Pacific Steel and Recycling Center. Around the same area is the Bozeman Convenience Site, which takes all of the food waste. In the year 2019, 540,945 pounds of food waste was taken here. There is also the City of Bozeman's compost site, which specifically takes wood pallets. Logan Landfill, which is located all the way off the highway past Manhattan, is responsible for taking the trash, which in 2019, Montana State sent 3,451,140 pounds to Logan Landfill. And finally, there's the Four Corners Recycling, which is where the majority of the recycling goes. In 2019, we sent a whopping 1,140,269 pounds of recycling, which includes plastic bottles, cans, paper, and cardboard. According to these statistics from Logan, approximately 33% of waste was diverted from the landfill in 2019, which to me sounds like a good amount. But unfortunately, there are still many areas in which Montana State is lacking. According to the Measures of Sustainability, which was adapted from M. Hart's Guide to Sustainable Community Indicators, I gave the recycling and trash sector of Montana State University a D rating. This is due to the lack of forward-looking, 20 to 50 years in the future, as well as lack of emphasis on local resources and student-faculty needs, and the lack of frequently reported data that is readily available. Due to these issues, the sustainability assessment for this indicator was a D, although there is plenty of room for growth.
The third metric we used for measuring sustainability at MSU was waste reduction strategies. One of the largest waste sources on campus is dorm furniture and appliances, because students leave them behind after each semester when they move out. These items end up being left on roadsides and eventually cleaned up by the city of Bozeman if no one picks them up. To combat this waste, MSU provides rentable dorm furniture, as well as a move-in and move-out sale, where MSU buys furniture from students when they move out and resells it to new students for cheap. This decreases the amount of furniture that students need to buy new, provides an easy way for items to be reused, and saves students money. MSU also puts out swap tables for people to leave unwanted items at move-out time that other students can pick up for free, and encourages students to donate unwanted items to local thrift stores. MSU gets an F for sustainability here. The programs they have to decrease waste are multidimensional in that they save students money while reducing waste, and they emphasize local wealth, resources, and needs. However, the programs are short-sighted, and there is almost no empirical data on how effective the programs are. MSU also has waste reduction strategies for food service. 111 Coffee Shop only serves drinks in reusable mugs, and most buildings on campus have water bottle refill stations so that students don't need to buy disposable water bottles. In the dining halls, MSU does not offer trays, which encourages students to take more reasonable portion sizes and decreases food waste. Campus events catered by the University Catering Service use compostable dishware rather than disposable plastic utensils. I give these strategies a D rating. To be more sustainable in food service, MSU should develop waste reduction strategies that are more forward-thinking and that can be measured and reported on.
We got to interview a compost worker that told us about some of his firsthand experiences with the MSU compost system. He stated that the food waste composition frequently varies, but a significant portion of it always seems to be the inedible bits, such as potato peels, apple cores, and eggshells. There's also a significant portion of food waste that, from his perspective, seems as though it could have been served to someone if it had been properly cared for before being thrown in the compost bin. The specific reasons that most food waste is disposed of in the compost bins is usually unknown. Some common reasons that food is put in the bins are food going bad, some of it accidentally getting put on there, so like it was dropped on the floor, or an excess of food that was never eaten.
It is also worth mentioning that COVID has thrown a big wrench in the sustainability of waste management on campus. In the dining halls, composting is halted, food is no longer self-served, but rather is pre-packaged, typically in plastic wrap or in clamshell packaging. Besides food, there were also cuts to programs on campus, which encourage students to recycle, repurpose, or give things away at move out. We hope that we see a return to these programs when things get back to normal next semester.
Since COVID started and they reopened the dining halls, they just have big trash cans and all of the food comes pre-wrapped, and you just put all of the packaging for your food in the trash cans. But before COVID, they had the composting where you could scrape your food off your plate into the composting before putting it in the dish rack. And I did use that when they had it, but I wasn't too particular about what food I put in there.
With the help of our interviewees, our team came up with some tangible ways to increase sustainability on campus. Currently, MSU's food waste is collected by the city of Bozeman and taken to the landfill, but this could be better managed by a local composting system, so the food is at least being turned into a usable product instead of just rotting in the landfill. Secondly, the composting system at MSU is not funded by culinary services, but instead funded by the Office of Sustainability, which relieves culinary services from actually feeling responsible for dealing with their waste in a sustainable way. So, culinary services should be given more responsibility over the program to make it more sustainable. Lastly, and possibly the easiest place to start, is to eliminate single-use plastics in dining halls and on campus.
Last question for you here. Is there anything that you wish MSU did differently in terms of waste, recycling, or compost?
I'd probably say just increased accessibility. I don't think they have compost, at least not in Jabs. They have different recycling for paper and aluminum and stuff, so I really like that, but as far as compost goes, I don't see that anywhere except for in the dining halls pre-COVID.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they could put composting in the Union Market and other places where you get food, because I don't think they have that here.
Here?
Yeah.
Here. I don't know if they have. I don't think I've ever seen it here, even pre-COVID in the sun.
Yeah, not in the
Yeah, I
sun.
don't think they have composting here, but I think the trash and recycling should be done all over campus like it's done in Norm or Jabs, like we talked about.
In conclusion, and as mentioned before, Montana State University produces a lot of waste. Although waste is inevitable on a college campus, there are ways to deal with it in a more sustainable way. Thankfully, MSU is already working on implementing programs on campus to combat waste and educate students and faculty. One of these programs is the Food Recovery Network, which works with food providers to recover safe and edible food from dining halls and provide it to people in need in the Bozeman area. As a campus, we still have a ways to go in terms of sustainability, but there are many tangible things to work on to increase sustainability on our campus.